Hello, welcome back to the channel. Now today we're doing a review of a set of irons. Well, I say a set of irons, I've got the 7 iron, the fitting iron, and that is an iron that's not talked about very much anywhere, but it's a very reasonably priced set of irons. And could they work for anybody? And that is the Cleveland Launcher UHX iron. So the Cleveland UHX iron, who's it designed for? Well, it's strong lofted. The 7 iron is 30 degrees, so it is a stronger lofted 7 iron. So it's probably designed for those mid to high handicappers who need that help to get the ball out there a little bit. That loft doesn't give them, so it's got a little bit of less loft and a bit more forgiveness to get it out there. So these irons are a little bit of a blend of hollow design and cavity back. So the longer irons, the like 4 iron down, have got a hollow head design. So we've all heard hollow head designs for a while. It's designed to give you more ball speed. It's basically what it is. And then the shorter irons have a cavity back, so we're able to aid control and sort of control your distance a little bit, because they're your scoring irons. So it's a bit of a blend of hollow body design and cavity back irons. Now the 7 iron that I've got is a hollow head design. It is 30 degrees, it is stronger lofted. Now as a fitting cart, as a fitting option, the options are quite limited. So in steel shaft it comes with the R or the S300, and then it's got graphite shafts for sort of senior flex slow swing speeders. So that says to me they're putting this iron somewhere around like mid to high handicap and seniors who just need a little bit of help to get the ball out there and get the ball up in the air. But it has got an S300 shaft for those with a little bit more speed, and for those who just want a little bit more forgiveness that this club is going to give them. So let's get on the GC quad and let's test these out and see just how far, because this is going to be a distance test, just how far these go. Okay, Cleveland UHX Launcher irons. Down at the dress, yeah, it's a fairly thick top line, to be so if you're after that forgiveness, it's there. But the offset isn't massive, so there's not a massive offset. There is some offset, but it's not like on the massive scale. It looks like a decent iron. It's just the top line is pretty thick. The blade length is quite big, so it's great for that forgiveness factor. And what I like is, although the bottom, the sole is quite thick, and it's got this V-shaped sole, which is what we've seen on the Strixon clubs as well, to sort of aid turf interaction. It is pretty thick, but you don't really see it behind the ball, which is something that's nice. It just looks clunky, like it looks big, but it's not as big as some of the ones I've seen. So I put a green out at 200 yards, but I've got literally no idea how far this is going to go. It is 30 degrees, so I'm expecting it 190 to 200, but the proof is in the pudding. Okay, off the face, a little bit out the toe. So there is a big drop off there, 160. Wasn't the greatest strike in the world. That was a little bit of a better strike, 180. Spin up at 6, which is a great spin. I'm finding this shaft is just not working for me in timing, but I'm swinging it pretty fast, to be perfectly honest. Club speed on that was 98.9 miles an hour, so I'm swinging it quick enough, just not getting the most out of this club. All right, that felt a lot better, more out the centre. So where's that kind of gone in distance? 180. For me, this is kind of doing what it's designed to do, and that's give me loads of launch. Like the launch angle on that, bear in mind this is 30 degrees, it's 21. I'm just struggling to get the launch down on it, which is not a bad thing, because that's what this club is designed for. It's designed to help people get the launch. So although it's a 30 degree, I'd expect this launch angle to be around 16. It's just not doing that. It's launching at 21. Better strike, that one. Much better. And that's gone out there at 190, on that green at 200. Launch angle down at 18, but the spin is at 5. Considering it's a 30 degree 7 iron, the spin's really good. This is basically a 6 iron, let's be perfectly honest. but the spin is really, really good. And that's possibly could be down to the grooves. So it has got tour milled zip grooves. So this is the kind of grooves you'd see on the zip core wedge. So the face itself has got like the grooves in there, but then there's like milling on the face just to possibly give you that little bit of extra spin. So that spin I'm getting, it could be down to the grooves. It's going to be nigh on impossible to sort of prove that. But one thing I'm doing is swinging this club pretty fast, and 130 ball speed it's good for the loft. So I'll give you that. It's good for the loft. Another good hit. It's forgiving. You know, I've hit a few out of the toe there so far. I'm not really hit much in the centre, and the actual distance is good. The direction is good. It's a decent club. You know, it's not for me, but it's a decent club. Right, I hit that well out the heel. What's that done? That's done really well. That has done really well. 183 carry, spins up at 5,000, and it's not gone out to the right a long way. So I've hit the toe and the heel, and I'm still pretty straight. I'm finding it hard to go wayward. probably the club for me, people would argue. If you're a sort of person who's looking for a new set of irons, you're kind of like 18 handicap upwards, and you want a new set of irons, you want to get fitted, but you're like, I'm not going to spend £9,000 on clubs, have a look at the Launcher UHX iron. And the reason I say that is 6 to pitching wedge, so 6, 7, 8, 9, for 5 clubs, you're looking at £480 to £500, depending on where you shop. £480 for 6 to pitching wedge is such a good price. You know, for a new set of irons, a fitted set of irons, you know, the fitting options aren't as big as some of the other manufacturers, granted, but then you're not paying £1,000 for the irons. You know, this is a hollow body design, just like other manufacturers. It's got technology in it, the V-sole to help you with turf interaction. It's got the milled grooves. If you just want to make that step from, like, because I get asked a lot, people say, oh, I want new irons, but I'm not going to get fit because it's so expensive, or is it worth me getting fit and spending all that money? Go and get these, or have a look at these, being fitted for these. £500 for a 6 to pitching wedge, you know, gives you scope then to get hybrids from 5, 4 iron. It's like you're just going to be saving a lot of money, and the performance is not going to be a £500 drop off, put it that way. Oh, that's just a great hit. Like, these are all over that green. It feels like I can just do what I want. It doesn't matter what I do, they're going on the green. Or as close to, from 200 yards, like, I'll take that all day long. Now, if you're kind of the person who's going to get fit into these, you're unlikely to be carrying that kind of distance, granted. But let me just try and swing this at 70 miles an hour. It's probably the wrong shaft for that kind of speed. And just see like what the launching that's like. So I swung that at 73, carried at 140, the ball speed is 100, the spin is still up at 4,000, which is not amazing, but for that kind of speed with that kind of loft is perfectly fine. Yeah, a lot of people would take that at that speed, a 140 carry with a 7 iron. You know, that's what this club is designed for. Let's try that again. Oh, it's just so easy to hit. 138, you know, I'm struggling with distance, like, but they are on top of each other. I've not had that flyer, which sometimes you can get with hollow-bodied clubs. I've just not had that flyer. And those two have carried exactly the same. You know, if you're that type of golfer, for £479, these could be the ones for you. Another slow swing. Oh yeah, 138, they are just on top of each other. Let's put it into a gaming situation, have 3 shots at it and see what we do. Right, before we put it in a gaming situation, I'm just gonna disable these last 3 because they were like slower swing speed. So let's look at the averages then. Average ball speed, 122. Now I hit some duffs at the beginning, so let's give it a fair comparison. Right there. Ball speed 125, launch angle 19, you know, it's not bad considering the loft. And I like the fact that it's lofted up a little bit more. Spin at 5.4 is great for that loft of iron, and carry of 180. You know, it's a little bit down on where I'd want it to be, but there is like a 165, a couple of 165s in there. You know, you take them first 3 duffs out, it's 185. It's a decent club. We look at the club speed, 98.5. It's really good. We're a little bit toey. You know, I hit that one out the heel, which was great, but we're a little bit toey there. We're hitting down on it. It's a decent club. And if we disable these ones here and just enable those last 3 for someone who is a little bit of a slower swing speed, for example, you know, average ball speed, bang on 100 more or less, 0.5 off. Spin at 3.5. It's, you know, it's not great, but with that speed and that loft, it's a little bit low, but then you wouldn't be in the S300 shaft, so we'd put you in a bit of a spinnier shaft to get that up. And carry 137, you know, 137, 138, 138. Peak height exactly all at 17 yards. We look at the club speed, 73, 70, 72. So these are average numbers for people who are swinging at that kind of speed, and to be able to get 140 out, people would, you know, some people would love that kind of distance with a 7-iron. You know, descent angle it's not amazing, but you know, you've not got the speed to be able to get it higher. You'd have to then loft up, and then arguably you're going to lose distance. So it's a trade-off, and it will be down to the individual. Right, let's have 3 goes at this green then. It's 190 yards out. It's slightly elevated, so it's probably playing nearer 195 to 200, I'd guess. And let's see if we can hit the green with this club. So far, you know, for me, it's not the club I'd play, but if you're a mid-handicapper, like, how can you overlook this at the price? 479 for 5 irons. Like, you're just not getting that anywhere else for a new set of custom fit irons. Carried 187. Bounce up. Little chip on. Yeah, like, I'm struggling to be that wayward with this club. Really struggling to be wayward with it. I've hit it out the toe, I've hit it out the heel, and I'm just like, it's so forgiving. A little bit out the toe again. Clear them off, bounce. Yeah, like, it's on the green. I literally just feel like I can swing this club and it's going to go where I want it to go. I don't even have to think about it. It's just going to go where I want it to go. Like, who can think of a club that does that? Right, last go then. 193, that's going to get there. Looks online. Go in. It's so forgiving. It is just literally so forgiving. Okay, so what's my final conclusion on this club? For me, it's like, it doesn't feel brilliant. You know, it feels okay off the face. It sounds okay off the face. It's forgiving. It literally ticks every box. I can stand over that ball and just feel like I can't miss. So arguably, like, it could literally just go in the bag because it's so easy to hit. It's just that as I look down on it, I'd just be put off. And that's ego taking over, basically. That's what ego would stop me buying these clubs. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Performance-wise, they are great. It's really forgiving. Like, I've hit it out the toe, the heel, and they've just gone in the general direction I want them to go. They're consistent with their yardages when you get them right. I've not had a flyer out of it, which is what you can get sometimes with a hollow design. But for the price, like, is there anything better? For 479, for brand new fitted irons, is there anything better on the market? I'd struggle to pick anything you're going to pay less than £100 for an iron for. I'm not sure, looking at the thickness, whether they would work for everybody, because if you look at this picture that I put up, you know, the thickness of the sole is very variable, as with all irons, but they seem to get pretty thick. So it would put me off. But when I did that test with a slower swing speed at 70 mile an hour, you know, they are traveling 138, 140 miles an hour. The peaking height at 17, you know, it's not amazing. But then the speed is not going to help you. You know, I could produce more loft, get a little bit more spin, maybe a lighter shaft, you know, get more speed. There's a lot of variables in there. So this is just a quick test. But the consistency in the yardages, the launch on it was brilliant. It's just, you you know, it would run up to the green. You'd struggle to stop it with that kind of spin. So it's a trade-off. It'd probably be a trade-off versus distance versus peak height and spin. Depending, you know, we may be able to match it, but we'd have to test that. For the target market of this, which looking at the shafts is slower swing speeds, maybe seniors, it is a fantastic club. You know, for the price, for everything, it's a great club. It's just if you've got speed, there's better options out there. But if you're on a budget and you want new clubs, like, you just ain't beating it. You just aren't beating it. If I was on a budget of £500 for 6 to pitching wedge, or £550 for 5 to pitching wedge, like, you can't overlook it. You can't beat it anywhere. You just can't beat it. I've been impressed with Cleveland this year. I've been really impressed with Cleveland this year and last year, although because they're kind of last year's models. The wedges are great. I put the woods in the bag. You know, I wouldn't put this in the bag, but then they've also got the other irons with the thick soles, the HBs that are there for people who are even more struggle to get the ball in the air. Like, they've got a club for everybody, I think, this year, and they're just so overlooked, really overlooked when it comes to product. Right, I've been Lee Whittaker. Thanks very much for watching this review. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe down below. We'll be doing lots more reviews, lots more testing, lots more comparisons, and fitting videos going forward when we're allowed. But for the time being, I'm signing off. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you all next time.